is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are sports. We are Sun.
Last night, Alex Cobb baffled the Boston Bats, and the Rays defense dazzled as Tampa Bay held on for a 1-0 victory. Today, former teammates are turned foes as Chris Archer goes to the hill, opposed by David Price. It's the series finale between the Rays and the Red Sox next. We welcome you to Tropicana Field as the Rays and the Red Sox wrap up this 4-game series leading right up to the All-Star game. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to an afternoon of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Great to have you with us, boy. What a series it has been. The Rays defeated the Boston ace Chris Sale in the first game, dropped the second game. Last night, the combination shutout for Alex Cobb and Alex Colomé. And so the Rays are up 2-1. What a pitching matchup we have for Game 4.
Well, you're going to look at it, David Price against Chris Archer, and when you look at these two guys and what they've been able to accomplish this season, Chris Archer, the two things that stand out is innings pitched, getting deep into games. He's gone at least 6 innings in 15 of his 18 starts, including the last 9 consecutive. That leaves him 4th in the American League in innings pitched, and he will be moving up that ladder by the end of this game. And also the strikeouts, 139 strikeouts, power stuff, power fastball, power slider, and that leads him in second place in the American League behind that Boston ace, Chris Sale. David Price, on the other hand, 8 starts this season. He's been limited. He had the elbow strain early on, didn't get into the rotation until the end of May. First 4 starts okay, the last 4 starts much better, as you can see. The record 3-1 ERA of 3.00. He's gotten back to commanding the entire strike zone. The fastball, the cutter, the curveball, the changeup, and the velocity has started to climb too.
Well, the All-Star game coming up, and Corey Dickerson will be South Beach bound. The Rays will be amply represented there with today's starting pitcher as well. When we come back, Rich Hollenberg will zero in on Corey Dickerson's trip to South Beach.
Dickerson leading the Rays, batting second today, playing left field. Game 4 on tap versus the Red Sox. And it certainly has been a first half to remember for Corey Dickerson, turning in one of the great first half performances in Rays franchise history. Just the 4th Rays player to be selected to start an All-Star game. Our Toyota Inside Look from the jump. Corey's been hitting regardless of pitcher, place, or position. Overall, the most well-rounded hitter in the American League, and average way up, power numbers haven't dropped in the process. I asked him what he's most proud about so far this season.
Probably scoring runs. I think getting on base and scoring runs, being able to have guys drive me in. I feel like if I score a lot of runs, I'm obviously doing something right. I'm getting on base, I'm getting hits, you know, helping the team succeed. So probably what I'm looking forward to most at the end of the season is trying to score as many runs as possible for this team.
And that's one of the reasons he's heading to Miami in the All-Star game. Corey and company look to close out the first half of the season with a win against the Red Sox. Coming up next.
Chris Archer heads to the mound this afternoon to wrap up this series and go head-to-head with David Price and the Boston Red Sox. Archer, after his 8th win of the year, comes in 7-5 with an ERA of just under 4 and .395. Starting lineups presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Mookie Betts will lead it off for Boston, followed by Dustin Pedroia. Bogarts hits third in front of Mitch Moreland. Benintendi's in left. Ramirez the DH. Jackie Bradley Jr. in there in center field. Vasquez will do the catching. And Sue-Wei Lin is at third base hitting ninth.
Well, for Chris Archer, looking to turn around his fortunes against the Boston Red Sox. As you look at his season numbers, of course, the big strikeout numbers in his career against Boston, 17 starts. He's 2-11 with a 5.14. So looking to end this first half of the season on a high note against a team that has given him troubles. Let's take a look at the defense and see how it's going to line up Behind him here this afternoon, brought to you by Golden Diamond Source, and in the outfield left to right, we have Corey Dickerson. Peter Borges gets the start in center, and Steven Souza Jr. Across the infield, third to first, Evan Longoria, Taylor Featherston at shortstop, Brad Miller and Logan Morrison, with Wilson Ramos behind the plate.
And appropriately, Dickerson out there in left field in front of the All-Star Game placard. We're all set to play baseball. And here is Mookie Betts. First pitch is a fastball in for a strike to start this one. Chris Conroy calling the balls and strikes. Ed Hickox, Jerry Meals, and Ron Culpa first, second, and third. But wide, 1-1. That's at 272 with 15 home runs. There's a shot back into deep left field, and that is gone. So Betts on a 1-1 pitch hits it into the seats in left center field to give Boston a 1-0 lead.
I'll tell you what, like it was shot out of a cannon. If you weren't ready for this game, you are now. There's a slider that hung middle of the plate, and Mookie Betts just laid into it.
Betts with 16 home runs, 14 of those have come on the road. And there was no doubt about contact. You just wondered if it was going to be high enough to get out, because he blistered that one.
He's doing his best Logan Morrison impersonation. Logan Morrison with 16 of his 24 home runs on the road.
So it is foul out of play up the right side, 0-2.
Well, you'd think that, you know, with his pop, Fenway Park, the Green Monster, he'd have more than 2 at home.
His third career home run off Archer. Pedroia takes it upstairs, 1-2. Foul ball. Pedroia down in the count, 1-2. Missed with the fastball. It's 2-2. Now still 2-2. Did not go. And Hickox down at first. So it's a full count on Pedroia.
Continues to go after him with that slider, and Pedroia able to hold up right here, awfully close. But these guys know that. Chris Archer, he gets you to 2 strikes. That slider comes into play in a big way. That's where he racks up most of his strikeouts.
And there's a swing and a miss. Got him with a fastball finally there.
Well, you know, you see enough of the slider, and you start to think that a hitter may, you know, be onto it. Then all of a sudden you rush the 96 right here, and watch the swing by Pedroia. Well, all he's trying to do there is just flip that ball foul and try to get another one. He realized he was beat on that pitch and really couldn't do much about it.
Well, you know, especially if you're a right-handed hitter, it's flip a coin. It's going to be a fastball or a slider. The question is, what's the quality, and can you catch up?
Well, and then when you get to 2 strikes, it's it's almost best 2 out of 3. I mean, you're getting up into the 70% range, but you're right. It's, you know, the left-handed hitters will occasionally see a changeup, but for the righties, you're exactly right. One or the other.
Put in 1-1. Archer surrendering the home run to Betts, the 12th he's allowed this year. Two and one.
And in these types of matchups, these types of games, it is really all about execution. Always is, but it takes on even more importance in a game like this where these hitters have seen an awful lot of Chris Archer. He has got to be able to make his pitches. If he does that, he'll be just fine.
Behind Bogarts, 3-1. He's averaged 16.5 pitches per inning this year. This will be the 16th pitch of this inning, and it takes the count to 3-2.
How about that? In a 3-1 count, accomplished hitter at the plate. He's able to just pour that fastball right by him, and that opens up the door to double up on that pitch or go right back to the slider. You've got an antsy hitter now with 2 strikes.
Line drive, and it's caught down at third by Longoria. So Bogarts hits the ball hard. Evan right there for it.
Well, he got another slider, and this one stayed up in the zone. You see where Evans located, and he's able to just backhand that line drive, but that was another slider. Watch where the swing is. That's up around thigh high. And ripped down the line. There's Longoria there to take it away.
Mitch Moreland. One ball, no strikes. With 12 home runs, 41 runs batted in. Had a double in the 9th inning of yesterday's game that made it very interesting.
It sure did. And when that ball ended up coming back into the infield.
It's a high popper, foul ball, long run for Longoria, and it's going to be out of play.
Yeah, that put Boston in that situation where you're looking at it going, okay, wait a minute, 1 out, runners on 2nd and 3rd. Hanley Ramirez coming to the plate. You're thinking at the very best for the Rays, they're going to tie it up. At worst, they take the lead.
Yep.
And how about Colomé? Boy, he came up big in a big spot. 3 big cutters to Hanley Ramirez, and he kept him down below the zone. And Hanley kept trying to lift it. You get that strikeout. Now it's just about getting it out. And he was able to do that. But Colomé, I'll tell you what, showed something yesterday.
Ball 3 to Moreland, so 3 straight 3-ball counts following the home run by Betts. That's one thing about Colomé. He's not afraid out there.
Unflappable.
Yep. 3-1 from Archer. Ball 4. With the fastball upstairs. So he's already over 20 pitches here in the 1st inning.
You know, this is one of those big starts for Archer. It's a big series. The Rays, they made no beef about that. And you got to like, you know, they didn't give you the standard, well, it's just another series against a divisional opponent. No, they said this is a big one. And they've taken 2 out of the first 3. Got a chance to go 3 out of 4. Get to the high water mark in games over 500. Chris Archer just recently named to the All-Star team. He'll be headed out there, or down there, I guess, down in South Florida. And so this is one of those big games, and facing David Price, you know, former teammate. Probably a little amped up right now.
Benintendi bounder down to first. Morrison steps on the bag. A run home on the home run. A man left. The Rays will have Steven Souza Jr. to lead off when we go to the bottom of the first. It will be David Price going to the mound for Boston. His teammates have given him an early lead. We'll take a look at the lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. The Rays will have Steven Souza Jr. leading off, then Corey Dickerson and Evan Longoria. It'll be Logan Morrison in the cleanup spot in front of Wilson Ramos, Trevor Plouffe, the DH. We have Brad Miller at second, hitting seventh. Featherston at short. Peter Borges in center field.
Well, for David Price, we talked about him in the open. His last 4 starts, a big improvement over his first 4, using the strike zone better, starting to command that fastball. You know, when he was pitching for the Rays, we always looked for that fastball glove side. And if that was a pitch that he was able to command with consistency, you knew the opposition was in for a long day or night. But that's the key for David Price.
There's a fastball to start it, a cut and a miss by Steven Souza Jr.
It's the pitch that sets up everything away. The fastball down and away, the good changeup, the cutter that he'll run in. That's the pitch.
1-1 right now. 67, 17 home runs for Souza. All of those against right-handed pitching, by the way. And the fly ball back into left center field. That ball's got some carry. Going to be off the top of the wall. Souza on his way to second, and he's in there with a double. Just missed hitting that one out off the top of the wall in left center field. Souza's 16th double.
Now that's the fastball, and it went to the middle. Did not go down in a way where David wanted it. Middle down. Souza gets a great swing on it, and it's that close, right off that cage, above the padding. And the Rays look to answer, and answer quickly.
Well, there's a potential start. Souza out of the leadoff spot with a double. That'll be Corey Dickerson. Dickerson at 312 right now. He swings through the fastball, strike one. A little bit of a challenge in recent days for Dickerson. Third in the league in total hits with 106. 3 at bats against Price in his career. He's 1 out of 3 against him. Ground ball right side. This one picked up by Pedroia. A nice pickup. The throw to first And Dickerson advances Souza Jr. over to third.
And you'll take that. Nice play by Dustin Pedroia. Let's set the rest of that Red Sox defense for you. Brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. In the outfield, left to right, Andrew Benintendi, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Mookie Betts across the infield, third to first. Su Wei Lin, Xander Bogaerts, Dustin Pedroia, and Mitch Moreland, with Christian Vasquez getting the call behind the dish.
The Rays have a man at third with one out. Evan Longoria stepping in. And the pitch is a fastball at the top of the zone for a strike.
Well, the Red Sox conceding this early run, and so Evan Longoria just looking to put the ball in play, hit it hard.
And he does, up the middle, base hit into center, and the game is tied. So the Rays come right back against Price and answer with the tying run. Longoria's 52nd run batted in.
Another first inning run for the Rays. This one does not give them the lead, but I'll tell you what, it sends a message. I'll tell you, the Rays have been ready to play here in this series and looking to finish it off strong, knowing they got a few days off coming up. They've come out firing once again.
Well, Evan Longoria getting to the 1,400 mark for his career in hits. Carl Crawford tops in Rays history with 1,480. So Evan an even 1,400 to drive in the run. Logan Morrison in against the lefty. Fourth leading home run hitter in the league. Which is a strike. Well, three of the first four hitters in the Rays lineup with over 50 runs batted in, and Dickerson, who's been hitting second a lot, with 40. Otherwise he'd have more. Ground ball out at second base. Morrison reaches on what turns out to be a fielder's choice. Guards came across the bag and in a possible exchange held onto the ball out there.
It was a little bit of a bobble, I think, as he tried to get it out of his glove. It would have been a close play with Morrison anyway, because the ball wasn't hit that hard. But watch when he comes across here. Now he's going to look, and that ball never really had a hold of it. So you eat it.
2 outs with Morrison reaching. Wilson Ramos. First pitch, a strike. An off-speed pitch in there. It's a ball down and in. 1-1. It's too low. 2-1. Ramos back in the lineup. Sucre caught last night. Ramos with 10 runs batted in, 3 home runs. Big addition to the lineup as well as behind the plate. And a bouncer out to Bogaerts. The underhanded toss to second for the force. Rays get a run, and we're at the end of an inning, tied 1-1.
big guns blazing, the big story. And it started early here in Yankee Stadium. Masahiro Tanaka trying to get the Yankees put together a little bit of a streak, but Travis Shaw says not so fast. 1 out, top of the first inning, a 3-run blast to Milwaukee right now, up on the Yankees early.
How about those Milwaukee Brewers? They're up by 4.5 games over the Cubs now in the National League Central.
And the Cubs right now, John Lester, 3rd of an inning, 5 earned, runner on second, and we'll keep you posted. But the Pirates all over them in the top of the first inning in Chicago, so they could it could grow.
A lot going on today here at the Trop. The Rays and the Red Sox 1-1, top of the second inning. Archer's first pitch to Hanley Ramirez in for a strike. Misses the fastball.
The Milwaukee Brewers this season remind me of the 08 Rays. Everybody keeps waiting. When are they going to fold? When are they going to, and they just keep plugging away. They keep plugging away and staying there.
Two strikes on Ramirez, and the slider finishes him. Second strikeout for Archer.
Well, after watching what Alex Colomé did in last night's game, 3 in a row of those cutter/slider hybrids to get him. You know that Chris Archer is going to take one, and the thing is he put that in a great spot. He started it on the outside corner and swept it right off the plate.
Jackie Bradley Jr. And he misses the slider.
Almost tied his arms in a knot trying to get to it, expecting that first pitch fastball.
Now late on the fastball.
Yeah, well, you throw a slider like that, and he understands. He didn't get a very good swing at it. Maybe he's going to come back with another one because of that. And instead, he just blows 97 right by you. And now, Jackie Bradley Jr. no idea what's coming next.
Oh boy, that was a pretty good slider right there.
How do you take that?
Well, you go, well, I'm just going to take it and hope.
I mean, 91. He's trying to backdoor it, and that thing just buries itself.
Two and two. Archer putting a little something extra behind a couple fastballs here against Bradley. And he strikes him out with a slider. Well, the slider's been very good here in the second inning.
Get it right at the end of those fingertips and yank that pitch down. That one actually just kind of spun and saved up, stayed up. It did not have the normal depth. But Bradley Jr. with that swing was expecting it to come down a little bit. Never did. And that's where sometimes Chris doesn't fully execute his slider and get the tremendous amount of depth to it, and it still is effective. You've got to make your mind up so quickly.
Fastball in for a strike to Christian Vasquez, the catcher. One and one. That pitch just barely missed. Into center field. Here's Borges making the grab. 1, 2, 3. Through an inning and a half. We're tied 1-1. Race Baseball on Fox Sports Sun is brought to you by your local Ford dealer and by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. 1-1 ball game at Tropicana Field. Price and Archer hooked up in this one. Trevor Plouffe opens the second for the Rays. Goes after the first one and bounces it foul for a strike. Pitch moving in on the right-handed hitting Trevor Plouffe.
And that's David Price's cutter, and he will throw that in. That pitch will set up the fastball in. The fastball in will set up the cutter. He'll use it back and forth. Try to keep hitters honest. David Price, one of those guys that pitches in pretty regularly. There's guys nowadays most of the time pitching middle away, occasionally in, but David Price, he likes to crowd right-handed hitters. Gonna do it again.
High fly ball, left center field. Benintendi is there. Plouffe skied that one out there, not overly deep. One away.
Really likes to establish the inside part of the plate early in games too, because that ends up opening up the outer half as the game moves along. Guys are wary of the fastball, the cutter in, looking to maybe start it a little, earlier than they would normally, and then all of a sudden the changeup away, the fastball away, the backdoor cutter starts to become a weapon.
Brad Miller takes a look too low. Miller just off the disabled list for this series. 1-1. Betts homered in the first for Boston. The Rays got the RBI base hit from Evan Longoria, scoring Steven Souza Jr. in the bottom of the first. That's 1-2. Miller 3 of 20 in his career with a triple against David Price. Chopper back of first, fair, and that'll be handled by Moreland. 2 gone.
Shortstop, number 21, Taylor Featherston.
2 gone, base is empty. And here is Taylor Featherston. He's hitting 189. Pitch is outside. He's in there in the place of Adeiny Echeverria. Slight little groin issue. It's 1-1. Featherston's had a difficult time finding playing time recently and is 0 for his last 14.
Just
2-1.
Quick update. Stephen Vogt, home run in the second inning, 4-0 Milwaukee over the Yankees. Francisco Cervelli just hit a full count grand slam homer off John Lester. So 2 outs in the top of the first. It's 9-0 Pirates.
Wow. That's almost unimaginable.
Yes. Yes. Well, no, I'm sorry. It's 10-0. Andrew McCutchen just homered. 10-0 for top of 1. I'm going to turn the channel. How about that?
How about that? Foul ball out of play by Featherston. 10-0. Top of the first.
Yeah, he's
in Chicago.
Not out of it yet. Cervelli just homered. McCutchen followed that up with a homer.
Broken bat. Foul ball, and so he'll have to find another bat and come back with a count of 2-2. The top of the first ever in.
Well, I think it did for John Lester. Not for the Pirates quite yet.
Wow.
I'll tell you that you go into an all-star break, I can't even imagine. It's not going to be very fun.
And the count is full on Featherston. Yeah, the Cubs dropped 6 of their last 10.
Oh, here's another one. A quick update. Bottom of the second in Toronto. Astros up on the Blue Jays 5-0.
New ball 4. He walks Featherston.
What's going on?
Well, a lot of power on display for the Astros in Toronto. Orioles hits a home run. Altuve hits one out. And then here's Correa. Another one. And it's 5-0 Houston.
All off of Jay Happ, who is the one guy in that rotation that has been pretty consistent throwing the ball well.
There's a fastball out over the plate, and Borges took a good cut at it. 95, and he fouled it back. Boy, what a location for him.
And be careful, because Peter Borges 4 home runs, but we've seen him hit some bombs. He's got surprising pop.
Well, Price just got away with one right there. Check swing, ground ball by the mound, and the force at second ends the inning. We're going to go to the third, tied 1-1.
At Tropicana Field as we celebrate the youth who play baseball and softball in the Tampa Bay area. Today at the Trop, our special guests from Wildwood, St. Petersburg. It's the Wildwood Dodgers coach RM hanging out with us. Fun day at the Tropicana Field area, and looks like you got a good group of kids on your hands.
Oh yeah, we got some tickets and we brought all the kids out, man. The kids actually enjoy themselves when they come out, so we're always happy to come out and support the Rays.
And it looks like you're wearing Rays gear. We got a lot of Rays fans out here, I'm sure, huh?
Sure, not a Boston fan.
I love it. Coach Arant doing great job with the Wildwood Dodgers, part of our guests at the Trop for Play Ball Sunday. And if you want to nominate your favorite youth league team for a trip to the Trop, go to raysbaseball.com/playball, boys.
All right, Rich, thank you. We go to the third. tie ball game as Archer faces Sue-Wei Lin, and he's got to loop a base hit into center going after the first pitch. And so Boston has the leadoff hitter aboard. Happens to be the number 9 hitter in the order, and there's a base hit.
Sue-Wei Lin has been a thorn in the side of the Rays pitching staff here in this series for a number of different reasons. Taking walks, some base hits, quietly sits down in the 9-hole in this Red Sox lineup. You don't think too much of him, but he has been on base far too much here in this series.
Now Mookie Betts, who opened the game, hit the 3rd pitch of the game into the seats in left center field. Ball, no strikes. 16th home run of the year. 12th given up by Chris Archer. No.
There's a slider that stayed out over the plate for Mookie Betts, and he got into it in a big way, got the scoring started off right off the bat. Literally. Rays would answer in the bottom half, and that's where we stand now.
Nice pickup by Ramos.
Mookie Betts, one of those hitters that if you stood on the mound with a gun and you told him when you were going to squeeze the trigger, he probably could pull it to the left side. I mean, he's got quick wrist, quick bat.
And there's ball 4. Well, the first 2 men are on, and this is not the lineup you want to do that against. Not that they're going to hit a lot of home runs, they haven't, but they are solid, consistent hitters up and down this lineup.
Good approach. They move runners well. When they get runners into scoring position, they've got a knack for being able to get him in.
And especially this guy, Dustin Pedroia. Takes a slider for a ball, covered up by Ramos.
And I think that ball got past his glove. Don't rub it.
Yeah, he is hurting here. Ron Porterfield comes out along with Kevin Cash. Time to recover.
He's fine.
Easy for you to say. You know, the good thing about this situation is to see Kevin Cash. He's got that boot on, moving around, and with that fractured ankle. After he made that pitching change in the other day, it's been ambulatory.
You knew he wasn't going to be in the boot very long, if at all. I saw the boot, never saw him in the boot.
So a 1-0 count. That's a strike, 1-1. Kevin will be headed to South Beach as well.
Little R&R.
Part of the All-Star game. As part of the coaching staff. 2 balls and a strike. You know who else is going? We got Archer, of course.
Yep.
Corey Dickerson.
Yep.
Jose Fernandez will be going over there. Old clubhouse guy.
Yeah, and he, they ask, Every year, you know, they ask guys. It's not like something that rotates. And so he continually gets asked back, which lets you know the kind of job that he does.
Yep. I think this is the 5th time. Swing and a miss by Pedroia takes the count to 2-2.
I can remember him as the home clubhouse, head clubhouse guy for the Des Moines or for the Iowa Cubs when I was pitching for Buffalo Bisons out there. That's how long we go back. I've known Papito for, well, 20 years now.
Yep.
That's quite an honor.
2-2. Oh, he got him. Got him to chase up on the fastball. It's a big strikeout for the Rays and Archer.
Yeah, because Pedroia not only goes after the fastball, but it's up and out of the zone. And this is nowhere close. This is going to be ball 3. And he just could not, once he got that swing started, and you got to get it started early, just could not hold up. He knew it. Couldn't do anything about it.
4th strikeout for Archer. Watch Rays baseball for a retro price with the new Rays Flex Pack. Save up to 60% off the single game ticket price and receive 5 lower level tickets for just $75. Get a Rays retro hat with each pack purchased. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit raysbaseball.com/flex. Rays up. Xander Bogaerts. And he misses the slider. Strike 1. Lands at second and Betts on first. They opened the inning, so they were there with nobody out. Now they're with 1 gone. He's headed out of play. Slider, then the fastball. 0-2. Archer coming off a 6-5 win in Chicago. 6 innings, 3 runs in that one, and 116 pitches. It's his single game high this year. Nice right there, overpowered him. Fastball, and he strikes out Bogaerts.
Boy, he's recovered here nicely. Made short work of Xander Bogaerts. Another fastball. That one right in the middle of the plate, but up near the letters. And good luck trying to get up on top of that thing. You can see right now Chris Archer pitching right now like it's his last inning. I mean, you get those first 2 guys on, you know you've got trouble coming up in Pedroia, Bogaerts, and now Moreland, and he has really dialed it up a notch with the intensity.
Mitch Moreland now. Archer walked him in the 1st. And boy, that was a close pitch right there. Slider, and just was a ball. High popper. Will it stay fair? Yes. And caught by Dickerson. Pop fly to left. Archer gets out of that 2-men on, nobody out situation. Today's Geico great moment. David Price, the American League starter for the 2010 MLB All-Star Game. He was 12-4 with 2.42 ERA the first half of 2010. Earned the start. Still the only Rays pitcher to start an All-Star game. Chris Archer will be headed there this year for the second time as a member of the American League All-Star team. Steven Souza Jr. leads off the bottom of the third. Pitch is down. Double by Souza in the first, and the Rays turned that into a run. David Price in his All-Star appearances, 2010, then 11, 12, 14, and 15. Foul the other way. 1-1. Two balls and a strike.
You know, for the Rays, there have been so many pleasant surprises in the first half. When you start to look around, Steven Souza Jr., you know, a bounce back season, how productive he has been driving runners in. You think about Logan Morrison already setting a career high in home runs, the catching position and the production offensively that's come from that.
And recently the Rays getting a lift by getting Ramos back and adding Echeverria at shortstop. Full count to Souza Jr. I'll tell you what all of this has done when you just run into people and talk baseball with them. They're starting to believe in the marketplace that this team can do something, which is a great feeling.
Yeah, and the ones that don't, when they get done talking to us, they start to believe. Let me tell you why you're wrong.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why you should believe it.
Well, there's some of them.
There it is. I mean, runs a game. You know, they're going to score runs. They hit a lot of home runs, so they put, you know, opposing pitchers on alert. Starters ERA right at the top of the American League. The bullpen is where they need to clean some things up, and if they're able to do that, then this team, you think about them not only competing for a playoff spot, but winning the division. They get a real chance to do that if they can clean up that bullpen. And you saw, you know, a glimpse of it the other night. You know, when you had the 6-inning start, and then all of a sudden you turn it over to Hunter, Boxberger, Colomé, and everything rolls smoothly. That's kind of what Kevin Cash has in mind.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, that's going to tell the tale. They made a move to shore up the defense. It's a multifaceted sort of team, so it's a lot more interesting. It's essentially a more athletic team. And here's a guy, Corey Dickerson, who, by working hard over the winter, made himself more athletic and in a position to have the kind of year he's having. Swing and a miss right there, strike one. I mean, that's something that we talked about it, I think, last week. Roughly speaking, a year ago at this time, he was hitting about 195 and not happy because he's been a good hitter wherever he's been. And so you've seen the results of his hard work to take his game and elevate it the way he has.
And it was noticed around the country. You know, when that first voting, you know, came out, he was down the list, and then just seemingly one week after the next started to climb, and ends up getting voted in as the starting DH. And when he has gotten time out in left field, he has shown himself to be a good defender, much better than we saw a year ago, moving around better, has made some spectacular catches. There have been a lot of guys fun to watch.
Cut the miss right there against the lefty.
I'll tell you what, though, it's amazing how many fastballs that these Boston pitchers have been able to get Corey Dickerson to swing and miss at. All over the zone. Balls that are close to him, up and away, even middle of the plate elevated right now just not quite able to get to those pitches like he has for so long.
And that's a fair ball up the left field line. Susan will hit third, and they're going to stop him there. Into second with a double. Dickerson. That ball just stayed fair inside the bag and up the left field line. And now the Rays have a major threat.
You know what Corey Dickerson has done, though? And you'll see it right here on this base hit. Cut down on the swing with 2 strikes. That ball's away. Look at him just playing pepper out there, trying to put that ball into play. And boy, he had a ton of room to work with. He's able to sneak it inside the bag, and the Rays are off and running here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Walk and a double. And here's Evan Longoria, who drove in the run in the 1st inning, up now with 2 men in scoring position. Takes a strike. Evan with 52 runs batted in. It's foul toward the dugout. Goria. 5 hits in his career against Price. One of them a home run. Down 0-2 right now. Two. Blocked by Vasquez there.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Dwayne, you're all over it. That was a tremendous block. That was a changeup. It wasn't a short hop either, and he did a great job of smothering that pitch. Runners on 2nd and 3rd. This becomes dangerous. Look at him get out over the top of it. Just a little lean over to keep it close.
Fly ball into right field. Betts will go back. He'll make the catch. Tag at 3rd. Souza heads to the plate. Dickerson goes to 3rd, and the Rays take the lead. Longoria gets the run home with a sacrifice fly.
And what was even better about it was he got the sac fly deep enough that Corey Dickerson was able to move up and get to 3rd base here with just 1 out. Perfect. You know the run's going to score, but then as Mookie Betts continues to drift deeper into right field, now Corey Dickerson has a chance to get over to 3rd base, which he does, and that will force now Boston to bring the infield in here against Logan Morrison.
And the right side overloaded with the shift on. And then the only defender on the left side.
Yeah, you got everybody piled up.
Morrison swings through the fastball, chased one, strike 1. Yeah, there's almost not enough room on the right side for the way the defenders are positioned over there. One and one. Ball foul beyond the coaching box. 1 and 2.
David Price working hard to try to get to 2 strikes, because this is that time where you start to think about picking up a strikeout here. Logan Morrison obviously just thinking about putting this ball in play and bringing that run home.
2-2. Now we'll go full.
Chris Conroy not giving either one of these pitchers any help at all. If it's close, borderline, it's a ball.
A little tapper foul. We saw Conroy earlier this year. Interesting at that time. With right-handed hitters up there, it was tough to get a called strike. With lefties, he had opened his zone a little bit when we saw him before. Today, forget about it. Either way.
That right.
Pretty tight with that zone.
And for the most part, you know, you've got two pitchers out there this afternoon that can command the zone. And you would think this is one of those ball games where you kind of get caught up into the pitching matchup and you're looking to call strikes and force hitters to swing the bat. That's not been the case.
And that is strike three call. So Price picks up his first strikeout of the game, and it turns out to be a big one here. Two gone with Dickerson still at third.
That was a big out too that Colomé got right there. Little infield pop up and the game yesterday. But yeah, that was a big strikeout there for David Price.
Wilson Ramos. Ramos fouls it back. Strike one. He's going to take a hit now. Braves have taken the lead and have a man at third. Well,
that was a nice pitch there. That caught her right to the inside corner. Could not have really placed that one much better. Both of these guys, Chris Archer in that last half inning and David Price here, trying to make big pitches in big tough spots, and it did.
Two strikeouts here. You got Morrison looking, Ramos swinging. Rays take the lead. It's 2-1 at the end of 3. picks for the T-Mobile Home Run Derby Bracket Challenge. With a little luck, you and 3 friends may be going to the 2017 World Series thanks to T-Mobile. Make your picks at MLB.com/bracket challenge. Back to the hill goes Chris Archer. Andrew Benintendi in the box to lead it off. First pitch is a fastball for a strike. One and one.
Back-to-back changeups right there by Chris Archer, both of them missing well off the plate away from Benintendi, and you can see the arm speed slowing up just a bit. That's where you get into trouble with that pitch. Hard to finish it. See how much different that arm speed is on that fastball. It's a flash out in front where the changeup, the arm and the body slow up just a little bit, and that pitch is not able to be executed properly. And part of that is just the simple fact he doesn't throw it enough.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yep.
It would seem the more you throw it, the better you would get at keeping the same arm speed.
But that's where that pitch becomes a mental pitch. It becomes, you grip the changeup grip, however that is. There's a lot of different changeup grips out there, but you take your grip and then you think fastball. The mindset has to be fastball. That keeps the arm speed up, keeps everything, the way it needs to be. And then the grip itself is what takes the velocity off.
Against Benintendi on a slider, and that's going to be the 6th strikeout.
Well, that's one of those sliders that hangs and stays up in the zone, but is still able to get away with it.
Now Ramirez, Hanley Ramirez. Shoots the fastball foul out of play the other way. Well, that slider that stays up, that will be anywhere from 86 to 90 at times. And off the fastball, that's mid-90s, maybe 97. So there are times when he will benefit. There's a base hit through the hole into left. Late on the fastball before and then pull this one through the hole. Sometimes that slider that doesn't break a lot, he benefits from the difference in speed.
These guys, it's almost like they see it come out of the hand. They pick up slider spin and they're swinging, where they expect it to end up, and it just never breaks there. It just spins, and when you get a guy swinging and missing at a slider to strike him out and you've executed the pitch, I mean, 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, he's going to swing over the top of it because it's getting depth and it's diving beneath.
Here's Bradley Jr. into short right center, picked up there by Souza Jr. to keep Ramirez at second base.
When you're swinging underneath the slider, typically that's a slider that's not been executed, but Chris Archer, because the stuff is so powerful and explosive, and these guys have to start the swing so quickly, you see him get away with that more times, than other pitchers would. And now he finds himself in a little bit of a spot again. Now it's Boston trying to answer, and look at that already here in the 4th inning. 27 pitches that are 95 plus.
Yeah, that's almost half of his pitches. He's at 58 right now.
And it's 27 times more times than I've ever done it.
Christian Vasquez. He gets a strike. When rolls away, but not far enough for any thoughts about moving up. It's 1-1 here to the Boston catcher. Now Ramirez reached, pulled the fastball through the hole on the left side. Bradley dropped a base hit in front of Steven Souza Jr. at right center. On a change up. It's going to go to 2-1 on Vasquez. Up the right side, a foul ball racing over. Oh, what a grab by Steven Souza Jr. Back to second with the throw. Runner back there, but oh, what an effort and an unbelievable grab by Steven Souza Jr. behind the bullpen mound. Boy, put a star by that one.
All-out effort into foul territory and then leaves the feet, the low wall looming.
Great catch by Steven Souza Jr. Well, you talk about all-out effort.
That's how he plays. That's how he played. That little bloop by Jackie Bradley Jr. There was a look that he wanted to leave his feet. He wanted to dive after something, and that was a heck of a way to do it.
Glenn, the third baseman, taking the pitch for a strike.
Well, that would give you a little boost when you're on the mound, a boost in the dugout. Souza Jr. enjoying himself out there.
Well, the Rays have shown they can play some defense, and Souza Jr. enjoys that.
He does. He enjoys, I mean, playing all out. That's the kind of guy he is, and that's impressive. Covered a lot of ground, and
Archer and Ramos want to get together against Lynn here. Rays holding a 2-1 lead. There's a great shot of a couple ladies fans down there and the bullpen, and the different reactions after that catch was made. The ladies were, what is going on? And the bullpen was jubilant, and they were in disbelief.
Can't believe what they just saw. They just saw a flying man. Swear that there's an S on that jersey.
Stands for Souza.
Yes, it
Pitch
does.
is down. It's 1-1. Well, the Rays with a run in the bottom of the third to take a 2-1 lead. Archer pitching with a couple men on, backed up by that great catch in foul territory by Steven Souza Jr. And just singled into center in the third. He's been pesky. Miller at second base handles this one, and the Red Sox, for the second straight inning, leave two men on base and do not score. Here's a big reason why. Souza's catch beyond the bullpen. Coming in to hit in the bottom of the 4th inning. Well, the Rays playing some solid baseball on both sides of the baseball here. A great catch defensively by Steven Souza Jr. Up 2-1, and Trevor Plouffe leads off the bottom of the 4th, taking the first pitch too low. Plouffe, Miller, and then Featherston. Two and 0. Just like that, Plouffe is ahead with a 3-0 count.
Pitching Trevor Plouffe very carefully. A couple of change-ups, and that pitch trying to scrape the outside corner.
And this one does barely. 3-1. Well, Plouffe came into this game 9 of 25 against Price.
Well, that's exactly how he's been pitching him.
Hot shot foul back a third down near the bullpen and beyond.
That was a cutter, and that's the pitch. You know, if you execute that pitch and get it in where you want to, and the guy's going to swing at it, it's either going to be off the handle. You're going to get a jam shot. If he does get the barrel to it, just like Trevor Plouffe did right there, it's almost impossible to keep fair. You've got to get out so far in front because of that ball cutting in that you just can't keep it fair, and that's how Price gets back into this count.
3-2, and that's lifted toward center field. Bradley Jr. makes the catch. One gone. Crush home run to dominate in your very own Derby competition in the official MLB.com Home Run Derby game on the App Store and Google Play. Swing for the fences against more than 10 million players from around the world as your favorite Derby All-Star. Download Home Run Derby for free today. Brad Miller at the plate. And this one hops out to second with the bat chipping away. And Miller is out. Pedroia to Moreland.
Well, that ball got way in there on Brad Miller. And see the bat explode here. Fastball in. Off to the lab. The study continues.
To be patient.
Very patient. We've been talking about this for 6 or 7 years. Let's be honest.
Taylor Featherston takes a strike. All those broken bats. One and one. It is a great mental image.
Yeah.
A room full of people.
Yep.
And a big pile of bats, broken bats in the middle. They're all studying them, pondering.
Yeah. And you know what they are? They'd be like, it would be like going back at those photos. Actually, right here in Florida, of all those election workers looking at is it a hanging Chad? You know, they're looking cross-eyed at these things. I mean, some of those pictures of the people looking at the ballots were.
Yeah, and if you didn't have vision problems before, you did afterwards.
Yeah, and they weren't laughing with Florida.
Featherston called out on strikes. 1, 2, 3. 2-1 Rays. The 1989 All-Star Game in Anaheim. Bo Jackson with a leadoff homer in the bottom of the first inning. And as fate would have it, he would end up winning the game's MVP honors. Belting that one off Rick Russell. All-Star Game coming up Tuesday, only on Fox. We're going to head into the 5th inning. It will be the top of the order. So Archer starts the 3rd time through. First pitch. Outside. Today's jackpot brought to you by the Florida Lottery. See Betts now hitting .407 off Archer with 3 home runs, including the home run in the first inning of this game. It's a strike. It's 1-1. Down to third base. Glorious throw, and the Rays retire him this time. On away in the top of the 5th. But look back there at the '89 All-Star Game. That was the only All-Star game that Bo Jackson appeared in the 8 years he played, and was the MVP.
Hard to believe, as tremendous of an athlete as he was. I mean, obviously what he was able to accomplish at Auburn and then in the NFL with the Raiders, and just a freak of nature. Really a freak of nature. I get a chance to play with him with the Angels, and just, I mean, hard to describe.
Oh, look out. A shot right back through the middle. Archer hits the deck in a hurry, and a good thing. Pedroia rifled that one right back through the middle. So Archer will take a moment to put himself back together here. Right on his back. So Pedroia is aboard. Bogart's the hitter. Fly ball. Souza Jr. making the call. That is out number 2.
He's able to come right back and make a nice pitch with a hard fastball in on Bogarts, and just squirts out a fly ball into right field. And well, that's always scary, because there's no defense for a ball hit that hard. You're just hoping it's not going to get you, because there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. But that's the thing. You can take a moment to regroup, and then you got to go right back to work. Stare down another hitter and make another pitch.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing that that's what you have to do.
Yeah,
because you don't want time to think about that.
No, not overly. Not if you want to keep pitching.
Mitch Moreland pitches a strike.
That's one of those inherent risks that you undertake. No, you know the game. You know that that's always a possibility, but it's something that you never think about. Now, maybe if it's happened to you in the past, where you get really hit in a bad way, then, maybe it is something that you think about. But if you do, it's going to be real hard to perform out there. You have to have single-minded focus on making pitches. That's why we talk about, base runners and base stealers, trying to divide a pitcher's mind a little bit. Because if you're not completely focused on making a pitch, it's going to be tough to have any kind of consistent results.
Yeah, and if you get into a ball game such as this one, it's a one-run game,
Yeah.
2-1.
Yeah.
Any little thing can make a difference.
Watched that all afternoon yesterday too.
Yep.
It really heightens the senses and the concentration levels when you're involved in games like this.
Ball, 2 strikes. Takes the count to 2-2. Well, the Rays pitchers have made some big pitches in this series. Winning 2 of the first 3, leading 2-1 right now. Check count on Moreland. Stands at 3 balls, 2 strikes.
That's an impressive check swing and take there by Mitch Moreland. That's the put away slider. That's the slider that you see these left-handed hitters swinging over the top of, and he's able to hold up and get this count now to full.
And a swing and a miss. He strikes him out. Big strikeout to end this one. 7 strikeouts on the afternoon. No runs, a hit, and a man left. Bottom half of the 5th coming. 2-1 Rays. Chris Archer and the Rays hold his 2-1 lead. Facing David Price, the Rays got a run in the first, driven home by Evan Longoria, and a run in the third, driven home again by Evan. And in the 5th, Peter Borges, hitting 9th, leads it off. Takes a strike. Souza Jr. will be next, and then Dickerson. Anybody on base, Longoria would hit again here in the 5th. 1-1 count now. Souza Jr. has scored both runs. Made that great catch in the 4th inning on the ball hit by Vasquez. Yesterday's game filled with outstanding defensive work. We're just out in front of the changeup there on the 2-1 count. Now it's 2-2. Echeverria showcasing some of his extraordinary defensive skills yesterday.
We kept upping the ante as the game moved along.
At least one great play per inning, it seemed. Some of his handiwork.
This right here, early in the ball game, that leaping stab of that line drive keeps a runner off base. This was the one. Able to recover and then make that throw falling backwards, right on the money. No, he has said, listen, when I'm playing defense, I want to take the game over. I want to make a difference, help the team win, and just take the game over. And he did yesterday for every ball that was hit to him, and balls that actually weren't meant for him that he went and got.
Yeah, that was quite an exhibition. A foul ball, and we'll see another 3-2.
He's made a couple of plays already here in his short time with the Rays. I can't remember a better play from a Rays shortstop in the last few years.
No, I don't think. In the time he's been here, he's made plays that a Rays shortstop has not made ever.
Okay, then I don't feel crazy if you're saying that. For a second there, I felt like I was out of my mind, because how could he do that in a week and a half, 2 weeks?
I mean, and that's to take nothing away. Like Jason Bartlett was an outstanding shortstop, and one of the big reasons this team was successful the way it was when he was here. Outstanding shortstop. But Echeverria is so special.
He's next level.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, almost beyond your expectation level. That's where he is at shortstop. And getting an opportunity to see him just on a daily basis in the short time he's been here, he certainly turns you into a believer. No question about that.
He takes difficult plays, and because he is so smooth, he makes them look easy. He makes them look routine, like when you watch the play and you're like, well, that wasn't that tough. No, it was. That's how good he is.
Souza Jr. lifting one into left center field, and that's Benintendi making the catch. So he's out for the first time today. Off-speed pitch. Well, here's what's coming up on Rays Live. That'll be Friday when we pick up play after the All-Star game. Pre-game show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. We'll recap the Rays All-Star experiences and anticipate Mike Trout's return. Rays pick up play on the West Coast against the Angels. Dickerson fouls that pitch back. Doubled just inside the third base bag and up the left field line in the third. Retired in the first inning on a good play by Pedroia at second. There's a fly ball. This one will reach Benintendi. The Rays are up and down. We've gone through 5. The Rays lead 2-1. Chris Archer touched for a home run by Mookie Betts to start this game. Came on a 1-1 pitch. The Rays came back in the bottom of the first. Evan Longoria single scored Steven Souza Jr. And then a fly ball by Evan to right field in the third. Scored Souza Jr. again to make it 2-1. And it's been the pitching matchup anticipated. Chris Archer and David Price. Archer 5 innings, 7 strikeouts, a couple of walks, and that first inning run, a home run to the first man he faced. And we're going to go to the 6th inning with Andrew Benintendi to lead off, then Hanley Ramirez and Jackie Bradley Jr. due up. Strike one to Benintendi. There's a line drive and it's caught by Morrison. Just a couple of steps out of the batter's box by Benintendi, and Morrison was there to catch his line drive.
Well, you keep that leadoff hitter off base. That's a big deal here. Benintendi, one of those guys that will run and brings a different element to this Boston team. Good young hitter. He's been helped out a couple of times today by some hard hit balls caught by the corner infielders.
It's a strike to Hanley Ramirez. Bounces it foul. And it's an 0-2 count. One ball, 2 strikes. A 2-2 count. Ramirez, one of the 7 strikeouts posted by Archer. Archer got him on a slider after getting ahead 0-2 in the 2nd inning. Gave up the base hit in the 4th. And now he's 2-2 with Ramirez in the 6th. Check swing and a little looper, and that's going to be a base hit. Just over the head of Morrison into shallow right. And Ramirez is 2 for 3.
Boy, a little excuse me swing, and ball able just to float over the head of Logan Morrison, breaking down and away.
Well, you never know. That check swing just made contact and got it over the infield. Bradley Jr. Ball, no strikes.
How about the line drive by Benintendi's caught?
Yeah.
And then that ends up being the base hit. The game can be cruel at times.
This one shot up the right side. That's a foul ball. Beyond the bullpen, bouncing into the stands. And Bradley Jr. is going to need a new bat, breaking that one. 1 on, 1 out, 6th inning. Laid on the fastball, 1-2.
But it almost seems like the way that Bradley Jr. has been approaching Chris Archer is looking for that slider. You got to hit off of a changeup. The fastball he has been tardy on, at least early in counts.
Lifts it back into left field. Dickerson's going to go to the wall. He leaps and makes the catch. And he's going to fire that one back to the infield. Throw back to first on the relay from Miller, and they double up Ramirez. Great catch in left by Dickerson. And the Rays turn it into 2. Dickerson unloaded it to Miller. And Miller turns and goes to first to double up Ramirez. And the top of the 6th inning is over, folks. And what a double play that was. A 2-1 lead. Take another look at this catch and then the double play.
And where Hanley Ramirez got into trouble after the catch was he was around second base. So he had to go back, retouch second, and then race to first. And that's what gave the Rays, right, Corey Dickerson releasing that ball. You see he's got to take that long path back, and he's just not able to get there. He was convinced that ball was going to get over the head of Corey Dickerson or into the stands. And he sold out a little bit too far.
Evan Longoria leads off the home half of the 6th, taking an off-speed pitch for a strike. Longoria up the middle. This time there from short center is Pedroia, who makes the play. Nice play by the veteran second baseman up the middle.
Certainly was. Wasn't able to step into the throw either, as he moves just a little bit to his right. And then watch the throw and release. Just get it and then flip it. Doesn't even step into it. Drops it right there to Mitch Moreland.
Logan Morrison. 0 for 2, reached on a fielder's choice, and he takes a strike. Price has been on a little run, 10 in a row since getting Longoria on a sacrifice fly. That gave the Rays the lead. They've had no base runners since then. A 2-strike count to Morrison. Tapper foul. 2. Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Crest Coors Light. In franchise history, home runs before the All-Star break. Jose Canseco in '99 had 31, and his back went out on him. Logan Morrison with 24, matching Carlos Pena. Rick Vaughn had 21.
There's still a little time left here in this ball game to get second place all to himself. It's been a heck of a first half here for Logan Morrison in that power production department. He's played a solid first base. Quite a difference from a season ago.
Oh man, top 10 home runs, top 5 home runs, top 10 runs batted in, slugging percentage, 5th best. I mean, that number right there tells you what you need to know. Down in the count, 1-2 right here.
Where did Mike Moustakas come from? He came climbing up that board in a hurry.
Yeah. Two and 2. Ramos on deck. Oh, he went around, says Ron Culpa. So that'll be out number 2.
Cuts that ball right off the outer edge, and Logan Morrison goes out to get it initially. Did the best he could to try to hold up, and that was awfully close, but Culpa gets him. There's 2 outs.
Two up, 2 down. There's Ramos. But up 5 strikeouts for Price. It's 1-1. Taking that one down and in. Getting the back foot out of the way. 2-1.
David Price is pitching Wilson Ramos, you know, in with the fastball. A cutter there does not want to allow him to get his arms extended. Force him to think quick on balls that he's going to come in there again.
There's a fly ball headed toward the corner, cutting across. Benintendi will make the pickup on 1 hop. That's going to be a long single for Ramos. Boston going to get back in there in a hurry. Ramos is aboard.
There's the cutter. Those fingers on the outside of that baseball, cutting it in. Doesn't quite get to the barrel, but he gets enough of it and just lays it out there. Benintendi can't not get to it. Had to come from too far away.
Price had retired in 11 in a row before that base hit by Ramos, and it will get Trevor Plouffe up there. And as we mentioned earlier, he has some success against Price. He's in there as the designated hitter today. Strike 1 out in front.
Got an aggressive hitter at the plate. He's had success off of you. Changeup, not a bad idea, especially with the history that they've had, a long history.
One and one now. 1-2. Back to the off speed. Price and Archer in the wrap-up game of this series, leading up to the All-Star game. Fastball missing.
Trevor,
2-2.
Yeah, Plouffe not going after it. You know, right there is an example. David Price pitching him backwards. You know, the 2 strikes, change ups, and then all of a sudden you want to try to rush a fastball up and by him. Now coming back in.
He fouls it. Price moving in on 100 pitches. Archer has 88 through 6. Right now 97 for Price.
See if he comes back with that changeup here after the back-to-back fastballs. Well.
And he goes with the hard stuff up. Full count.
And he was just trying to throw that in. That's that glove side fastball. That's been the pitch that's been difficult to get the called strike on. So you're hoping that Plouffe is going to swing at that pitch, and either it beats him or it jams him.
3-2 base hit. Went back to the change. Ramos moves to second, and Plouffe on a 3-2 count singles into left. Two men on with 2 men out. That will get Brad Miller up there. Red Sox talk about it on the mound for a moment. Miller came into this game 3 of 20 in his career against the left-hander David Price. A couple of ground ball outs in this game. Inside. Price at 100 pitches right now. Matt Barnes, the right-hander, is up in the bullpen for Boston. It's a strike. The catcher Ramos is the runner at second. Plouffe over at first. Foul to right back. 1-2.
And think about the at bat that Ramos had and able to drop that ball in. You know, if that ball doesn't drop in for a base hit, or David Price is able to retire him quickly and end this inning, he may get another inning.
Yep.
You know, and this may be the end here, and all because of the hit by Ramos, and then Trevor Plouffe works a long at bat before getting a base hit. You continue to drive that pitch count up, and now you risk, you know, running him right out of the game. Not risk, but you are on the verge of running him out of this game and still have a chance here to tack on another run or 2. But even if you don't, you've probably ended his night an inning sooner than if he would have just retired Wilson Ramos.
Well, he's 2-2 with Miller.
That's just why you just never give up an at bat. You scratch and claw. We've seen this Rays team do that all season long.
It's an extended inning here for Price now. And the pop up, that's going to carry foul out of play. It's a 26 pitch inning. He made 26 pitches back in the third when the Rays took the lead. And that's 26 pitches here in the 6th inning. foul ball. Forces still another 2-2 pitch. Price made 106 pitches in 6 innings his last outing. 112 is his season's high. This is his 9th start. Two and a ground ball back to the mound. Toss to first. So Miller's out of there. The Rays leave 2. Go to the 7th, leading 2-1. Flashback to the 2001 All-Star game, the 19th and final All-Star game for Cal Ripken Jr., who connects for a home run. What turned out to be a 4-1 American League victory. He homered off the Dodgers' Chan Ho Park in the bottom of the 3rd inning at the Safeco Field in Seattle. And the starters in the American League. See Trout replaced by Mookie Betts, but Springer and Judge and the rest of the outfield. Ramirez, Correa, Altuve, and Smoke on the infield. Corey Dickerson for the Rays. Perez will do the catching. All-Star game Tuesday, July 11th, only on Fox. We go to the 7th inning in this one. The Rays hold a 2-1 lead. 88 pitches for Archer. He has 7 strikeouts. He'd walked a couple. Gave up a 1st inning run on the Betts home run. Christian Vasquez leads it off. Pitch is a strike.
And he gets to face here 8-9-1. But I'll tell you, the Boston 8 and 9 hitters over the last couple of weeks have been very, very productive. So this is no time to take the foot off the gas. Not that you would do that anyway in a 2-1 game, but you assume nothing. These guys have been productive. You're starting to get close to your pitch limit as the Rays are getting that bullpen going, and so now is when you really empty the tank and every pitch becomes close to a max effort pitch.
Tommy Hunter throwing in the Rays bullpen.
The pacing of yourself is over.
A ball, 2 strikes. Vasquez 0 for 2, victimized his last time up when Steven Souza Jr. made that great diving catch in foul territory behind the bullpen mound. And a strikeout this time. That's number 8.
Another one of those sliders. It stays up in the zone. And Vasquez underneath it can't quite get up to that pitch. Just has a cutter look to it.
Well, now the 3rd baseman, Sue Lin. There's one of the 6 Boston hits. One and 0 the count. There's a strike. 1-1. One thing the Rays have done is hold the Red Sox in check with men in scoring position in this series. They're 0 for 5 today with men in scoring position and 2 for 21 in the series. 2 balls and a strike. Now 3 balls and a strike to the number 9 hitter.
This has been a familiar count for Lynn here in this series. He's seen a lot of pitches. He's seen a lot of 3-ball counts.
A little looper, and out goes Featherston. Comes up just short. A diving attempt. So there's a base hit for Lynn, his 2nd of the day.
Well, you watch Taylor Featherston chasing this ball, thinking there is a chance. What an effort. All out max effort. And he ends up just a hair shy of that baseball.
Now Mookie Betts. Betts with a homer, walk, and a ground ball to 3rd. Pitch is a strike. High fly ball down the right side. Souza Jr. in pursuit, but this one's going to be out of his reach. Even out of the reach of Souza Jr. Out of play. A 2-strike count now to Betts. One and 2. Tap, that'll be charged by Featherston. Out at 2nd. The throw to first not going to be in time, but they get the lead runner. Ball just not hit hard enough to actually turn to, but they gave it a shot. So 2 outs with a man aboard. Rays pitchers strike out 10 hitters during a game at home. Visit CanesStrikeout.com and obtain a printed home voucher to take to any Canes Furniture store within 7 days and receive a coupon for a free Whoppers sandwich combo meal from Burger King. So Betts is the base runner. 2 outs. Dustin Pedroia the hitter. Pitch is a strike.
A nasty little slider to start him off with. You know, Dustin Pedroia, he's willing early on to give you that pitch down and away and look for a mistake out over the heart of the plate, little elevation to it that he can get into. He'll close that hole down as the at-bat goes on and then try to shoot you into right field. And right now he's got a big hole there with Lynn being held on, or excuse me, Betts being held on over there by Morrison. You see Brad Miller shading up the middle, and so that leaves a big hole on the right side.
Count is a ball and a strike. Two and one. Rays have Boxberger up along with Hunter now in the bullpen. Three balls and a strike.
Trying to shoot that outside corner, here early on, and got the first strike. Has missed with 3 straight. You do not want to, obviously, well, this is a tough count to be in. You got a tough hitter at the plate. You don't want to walk him. You don't want to give in to him.
3-1. And a pop foul headed straight back out of play. So the count is full.
I'll tell you what. You talk about a pitch that Dustin Pedroia wishes he had another crack at, and he was out in front. Watch this slider.
Three and two. Fouls a fastball back. So we'll do the 3-2 again. That's returning to first. Three-two. Shot back into deep right. Souza Jr. is going to go to the wall, and that ball is gone. Pedroia on a 3-2 pitch belts a 2-run home run, and that gives Boston a 3-2 lead. Hit the fastball out. Kevin Cash comes out of the dugout. Archer gives up the home run, and with it the lead. Call to the bullpen brought to you by the Florida Lottery. Florida Lottery presents the Family of the Week for Life Scratch-Offs, with a top prize of $5,000 a week every week for the rest of your life. The longer you live, the more you keep winning. That's Win Infinity. Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly.
Well, here's the home run by Pedroia, the fastball that's away, and he leans out there. That pitch had a little bit of elevation to it. You could see the reaction of Chris Archer. He knew that ball was well struck. And Souza Jr. is going to go back and attempt to make a play on it. And that ball is able to sneak just over the wall in right field.
So now the Rays down by a run. Tommy Hunter in the game. The first pitch to Xander Bogaerts, a strike. Fouls it back, 0-2.
Well, you know, the Rays offensively still have 3 shots left, down just a run at this point. They're going to get into the back end of that Boston bullpen, which can be tough, but it's certainly still out there for you to come back and win. That's the mindset you have to have. That's the mindset you know that they have.
And a cut and a miss. Bogaerts out on strikes. So we go to the bottom of the 7th. Now 3-2 Boston.
Talking about 3 basic fundamentals if you're going to teach a young kid how to pitch. Caden here's 9 years old and he's just starting out. So 3 things that you want to make sure you're covering while you're starting out with young pitchers. Footwork, when they come set, you want to make sure they got a nice balance point, balance position. You want him to get to his balance point second, and then third you want to finish. So I'm going to have Caden walk through his delivery real quick and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, set position. If you see his feet are shoulder length apart. He's got good balance. He's not falling forward. And he's not falling back. So that's a perfect spot to start from. Balance point, and then go ahead and throw, bud. Very good. So you see him get to his balance point, not rush through the balance point. If you end up rushing through your balance point, it looks like this, and your arm's way behind. All right, that'll create the pitch to be elevated, and that's not what you want to do. Caden did a good job of getting to his balance point and then following through to home plate. All right, now go through it 1 time without stopping, bud. Very good. So if you follow those 3 keys to a delivery when you're teaching a very young pitcher, then you know what? You got a best chance of being successful.
Dustin Pedroia hitting his 2nd home run of the series has given Boston a 1-run lead. It's 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. The new pitcher for Boston is Matt Barnes, the right-hander, on for his 41st time, 5-2. And Malik Smith will pinch hit for Featherston, who had a walk and a strikeout on the day. So Smith will pinch hit.
Well, you get the left-handed bat into the game here against Barnes, and then also you think about getting him on base in this 1-run game and the speed factor to lead off an inning.
Barnes with the breaking ball to start, and he misses with it. 1-0.
And just think that last half inning, if he's able to retire Wilson Ramos, David Price is probably still back out there.
Yep.
Gives up the hit there, the extended bat to Plouffe and to Miller for that matter, and he comes out of the game. So now this Boston Red Sox bullpen has to cover 3 innings instead of just 2, where one of them is going to be Kimbrel. So your options are limited. Now you've got 3 innings to go against these guys down just a run.
6 for Price, 2 runs, 5 hits, couple of walks, 5 strikeouts, 106 pitches. And Barnes is upstairs, so it's 3-0 now on Smith.
Yeah, we've seen this before from Barnes, where he'll come out a little bit and the command not quite there. You certainly do not want to walk Mallex Smith. That's the last thing that you want to do. And then the Rays in a good position here. You can see the bullpen for Boston has been very, very good. Really, Cleveland and Boston setting the pace, and New York Yankees a distant third.
So Smith back in after the trip to the mound by Vasquez. 3-0 the count. And ball 4 way high with a fastball. So he walks Smith. He goes to first with great speed.
David Price, 6 innings here against the Rays, and he gave up the 5 hits, a couple of runs, couple of walks, 5 strikeouts. The way that the Rays were able to battle him at the end and force him into those extra pitches probably ended his outing and inning sooner than he would have liked, but still a strong effort all the way around and put himself in position to get the win here.
Well, Carl Willis goes to the mound, the pitching coach, after the opening walk. Peter Borges due up for the Rays with great speed over at first. That's Joe Kelly. They've got to temper the way they use Kelly, but he has a great arm down there in the bullpen.
Well, he hasn't given up. I mean, since the beginning of May, he's not allowed to run. 23 appearances. It's the longest streak in the majors, and he has not been able to get into this series yet.
Peter Borges.
Aggressive lead, too, by Mallex Smith.
Draws a throw, and he's back in standing up.
Even that throw was a little bit wide by Barnes.
And we've seen Barnes at times get that way.
Yep, absolutely right. In fact, when you get a visit by a catcher in a 3-0 count, he just wants you to throw a strike, and you miss by as much as he did.
And there's a bunt, first base side, foul.
And that was ball 1. And Peter Borges almost got that bunt down, which is what the Rays were looking to do, but that ball was out of the zone. Barnes was not close here either.
Over to first again on Smith.
Well, Barnes has a tremendous arm. There's no doubt about that. But Dwayne, you talked about him getting like that before. Coming into this ball game, 40 innings on the season, 20 walks. That's a high number of walks for a guy that's pitching at the back end or towards the back end of a bullpen.
And the bunt, he bunts through. That's a strike. 0-2 now. Smith still over there at first. Souza Jr. on deck.
3 out of 5 in the stolen base department against Barnes. You can see he comes set. He's taking a long time holding the ball, and then he's got a little slide step, modified slide step.
Smith back in at first. Alex Smith, 11 steals in 15 attempts. One more time over there. One-run ball game. Rays down 3-2, bottom of the 7th. And the bunt. That's going to be a good one. So with 2 strikes, Borges still bunts Malik Smith into scoring position.
Well, an accomplished bunter and not afraid to attempt it and get the job done with 2 strikes. You know, that the angle of the bat Peter Borges sets, because that pitch was up in the zone too. Those are easy to pop up if you don't have the technique is not correct. You'll pop this fastball up. He angles that bat, gets on top of it, and just deadens it right out in front of home plate. Well done.
Now the top of the order. Smith at second base. Here is Steven Souza Jr. And time granted. Souza doubled in the first, scored, walked in the third and scored. Lifted a fly ball to left center in the 5th. First pitch to him. He fouls it the other way out of play. It was a fastball. Turn, nothing doing. Barnes was in the game for an inning and 2/3 on Friday. Souza takes it upstairs. 1-1.
Having a ton of trouble getting that fastball down into the zone. He had one to Peter Borges that he pulled the bunt back on, that he was able to get on the outside corner. That was about belt high, but everything else has been way up there, letters and above.
It's 2-1.
He's not in a good rhythm out there at all right now. It started with the leadoff 4-pitch walk to Smith.
Smith opened with the pinch hit walk, was bunted up to second by Borges. And a turn, but no throw. Paying a lot of attention to Smith at second base.
Well, Smith is in his head, there's no doubt about it, and he's thinking an awful lot about Malik Smith, and he's not been thinking an awful lot about making quality pitches. Falling behind.
And the 2-1 upstairs, up again. Now it's 3-1.
That body's drifting towards home plate so quickly. You know, he's got that little bit of a slide step, but definitely Malik Smith out there. And we saw when Malik Smith was in the box, you know, kind of drifting towards home plate, and his arm is not getting to its release point at the proper time, and that's why everything is up. And then overcompensate on the breaking ball and bounce it. Having a hard time right now trying to find the good release point.
3-1 and a ground ball to third off the glove of Lynn. Smith's going to try to go to third, and he will make it. First and third for the Rays. Lynn went back to pick it up and saw Smith breaking for third, raced him to the bag, and Malik Smith beat him in.
Well, nobody came to cover. It's such an odd play, and now John Farrell's going to go to his bullpen and bring in Joe Kelly. Needs a strikeout, but that ball off the glove of Lynn. And Malik Smith, realizing that there's nobody there and nobody's headed there, says, hey, you know what? I will.
So the pitching change on its way for Boston. First and third, one out for the Rays. Rays baseball on Fox Sports Sun, brought to you by your Southern Chevy dealers and by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Rays threatened in the bottom of the 7th. It started with the pinch hit leadoff walk by Smith. He's now at third. Souza Jr.'s at first. Men on the corners with one out. Joe Kelly gets the call with Corey Dickerson about to step in.
And you would think that the stuff that Joe Kelly features, and we're talking about a fastball that clipped triple digits, would have more than the 25 strikeouts in his 34+ innings.
Dickerson takes the first pitch, 98, and that's a strike.
I'll tell you what, that is a little short arm action, and that ball just explodes out of the hand of Joe Kelly.
Dickerson 2 of 7 against him. And a high fly ball toward the line in left. Benintendi in foul territory makes the catch. Here's Smith trying to score. This game is tied. Malik Smith with that great speed tags on the fly ball and scores the tying run. That's what speed will do for you. And it's a 3-3 ball game.
And the only thought there is you let that ball drop. I mean, really, that's the only thing. If you catch this, you're not going to throw Malik Smith out. Just not going to happen.
And the other side of that play, Souza Jr. goes to second. So he's in scoring position. Rays have tied it. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and there's Souza Jr. moving up. And Evan Longoria will be the hitter.
Well, that's what the leadoff walk late in the game will do for you.
Evan with a couple runs batted in already. Pitch is down. Well, that leadoff walk, and then putting down the bunt with 2 strikes, Borges. And then the move up to third by Malik Smith. And then scores the run on the fly ball by Dickerson, that foul fly. One and one. That one hitting 100. Run charge to Barnes. Foul the other way. Now behind 1-2. Longoria facing Kelly before, 3 out of 8 against him. Down in the count now, 1-2. Fly ball into right. Betts is there to make the catch, and the Rays score 1 to tie, leaving a man at second. We're going to go to the 8th. It's a 3-3 ball game. Well, the All-Star flashback, and it goes back to 2009. The All-Star game, 5 Rays named to the All-Star team that year following that great season in 2008. And of course the coaching staff along with Joe Madden. So a heavy Tampa Bay Rays influence in 09. This year's All-Star game comes your way Tuesday, only on Fox. Alex Smith will take over in center after running for Featherston. And Danny Echeverria takes over at shortstop.
Well, Brad is on.
Boxberger, the new pitcher.
Now, 4th time. He's 3 innings, 6 strikeouts. He has been extremely impressive. Fastball showing some really good life, a good changeup, breaking ball to go along with it. Rays have found themselves here now back at even. A couple innings to go, a sprint to the finish.
The Red Sox will have Mitch Moreland to lead off the 8th against Boxberger. Tommy Hunter came on, got the strikeout to end the 7th, and now Boxberger follows Archer and Hunter. First pitch popped up. That'll be a foul ball out of play. Shift is on here for Moreland.
Brad Miller out there in shallow right.
Fly ball back into left field, just in front of the track, and Dickerson is there to make the catch. One gone. Andrew Benintendi up now. Boxberger worked in the Thursday game of this series, 1 inning in relief of Jake Faria. Pitch is down. So the starters out of this game, and so far as the decision is concerned as well. Tying it in the bottom of the 7th. High fly ball to center field. Alex Smith puts it away. 2 up, 2 down. With 2 outs, Hanley Ramirez, the designated hitter, stepping in. Ramirez 1 for 4 in his career against Boxberger, and that was a long one, a home run. 2 for 3 today. Too low, 2-0. Archer 6 2/3, Hunter the 3rd, and now Boxberger. Price works 6 for Boston, Barnes a 3rd. There's a strike, fastball, 2-1.
Well, the ability to get in these hitters' heads with the fastball, the changeup, the back and forth, and we've seen that because there's such a difference in velocity between the 2 pitches. You're just never truly comfortable out there against. You see right there. Oh,
very close, but it's a ball, says Conroy.
Yeah, that was awfully close, and that was a changeup that got Hanley Ramirez to flinch.
It's been tough to get a borderline call if you're the pitcher today. Three-1 now. Fouls it out of play. And the Red Sox starting this game even in the season series. 5-5. This one up to the bullpens now. 3-2. He takes ball 4. Oh my. Ramirez draws the walk.
Another changeup. 3-2. And that ball right there. That ball's on the corner. Certainly down in the zone.
Well, that's a tough call.
Both of them went against Boxberger there. Those changeups in.
Here's Jackie Bradley Jr. 1 ball, no strikes. Bradley had a base hit in the 4th. Way wide, 2-0. Lifted the fly ball to deep left in the 6th inning when Dickerson caught it. The Rays turned that into a double play, doubling Ramirez off first after he had singled. That's a strike.
And that's the strike. I mean, now it's getting goofy.
2-1. See Bradley snap his head back after that was called a strike. Right there at the bottom of the zone for ball 3.
20-second timeout needs to be called here. A little regroup.
Yeah, let's recalibrate something.
Yeah. What's wrong with that pitch? That's right down the middle.
Three and one. And now ball 4. With 2 outs, 2 walks. Ramos strolls to the mound. Hickey's going to come out. Well, this has been a tough sequence here for Boxberger to the last 2 hitters. And now the catcher, Christian Vasquez, is due. Well, you got Moreland and then Benintendi. Walks to Ramirez and Bradley Jr. With the catcher Vasquez to the plate. Action in the bullpen. Valeric the lefty. Diaz the right-hander. Swing and a miss. Vasquez victimized in the 4th on that great catch by Souza Jr. in foul territory. And there's the strike out there on the corner. 0-2.
Well, 1 away now, and Christian Vasquez not agreeing, but that's kind of been the way it is the past few pitches, whether it's the hitter, whether it's the pitcher. Right now, all the advantage lies with Boxberger in this count, in this situation.
Foul ball back. Loose ball rolling from the bullpen. A 2-strike count to Vasquez. He got it. Struck him out on a fastball. Vasquez goes down swinging. That ends the 2-out threat. We're still tied. Baseball on Fox Sports Sun is brought to you by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Rays and the Red Sox on to the bottom of the 8th. A couple of walks and a big strikeout to end the 8th for Boxberger. Logan Morrison leads off against Joe Kelly. Taking a strike. Morrison looking for his first hit of the day. 0 for 3.
Be a nice time for it, leading off an inning.
There's a couple of hits. 2 for 12. One of those hits a home run against Kelly. 1-1. Ramos next, and then Plouffe. Two. Alex Colomé up in the bullpen for the Rays. Price worked 6, gave up 2 runs. Barnes a third, gave up a run. Kelly getting credit for 2/3 of an inning in the 7th. Came in with a couple of men on, and the Rays scored one of them to tie. So a full count. On deck. And ball 4. Morrison draws the leadoff walk. Well, there's a start.
Well, another leadoff walk late in the game by a reliever out of the Boston bullpen, and see if the Rays can make this one hurt. That's what got it started last half.
Wilson Ramos climbed a single up the left side in the 6th inning. Pitch a little close. It's in around 98 close.
That ball's going to run up and in. Look at it take it off. Just misses the knuckles there of Wilson Ramos. Fortunately.
And that's a strike. Ramos can't believe it.
Well, and he should. Things are getting wobbly here at the end. Well, this isn't even close.
One and one. There's a liner into right. It will be caught. And Morrison heads back to first and beats the throw. Betts made the catch. Fired it back to Moreland. You can only imagine what went through the head of Wilson Ramos when that second pitch was called a strike after the top of the 8th and catching Boxberger on 3 or 4 of those pitches. So 1 on, 1 out, and here's Trevor Plouffe. He's 1 for 3. And 2 for 2 off Kelly with a home run in his career. Strike 101 on the gun. And a foul ball. Again. Triple digits with the velocity.
That is a high-end range right there. 18 miles an hour, but from 83 on up.
Strike 3 call. That's out number 2. Well, he saw that range, the first couple 101, and drops this one in.
Now that curveball, it stayed up in the zone, but right at the very top of the zone, it fools Trevor Plouffe, and he gets the call for strike 3 and raised down to their final out here in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, Brad Miller. See what Brad can do with this hard-throwing right-hander. Of course, he doesn't get the heat to start the at-bat out in front of the off-speed. Strike 1.
Well, Brad Miller, a guy that'll hunt the fastball, and Joe Kelly, even with the 101, well aware of that, and so he's going to drop the curveball in there. Picks up strike 1.
Swing and a miss, snap throw to first, and back in is Morrison. Well, he got the hard stuff there, and now it's 0-2. Morrison opened with a walk, still at first with 2 gone. Upstairs, way up there. This guy's going up with the mitt to corral that one.
And they had to get it up there in
short notice.
Yeah, 102 on that one. You see Joe Kelly too, the way that he really alters his delivery towards home plate. That leg kick, sometimes pausing, tapping. He starts to come up.
High fly ball back into straightaway center. Got a chance. Gone. Home run. Miller hits it out to center. Brad Miller's 3rd home run of the year, and he gives the Rays a 5-3 lead. What a blast to center. Rays tied it in the 7th. They take the lead in the 8th. A jubilant dugout.
Well, again, the leadoff walk starts it, and then Brad Miller ends it. I'll tell you what, that was on a curveball too.
Brad Miller. 2-run home run. Now here's Malik Smith. Pitch is down.
Well, we said that Joe Kelly had not been scored upon since the beginning of May. That just changed, and changed at a very inopportune time for the Red Sox. Brad Miller straightaway center field on an off-speed pitch.
Chop down to first. That's a fair ball, and that will retire the side. The Rays get 2 On a 1-2 pitch, Brad Miller hits a bomb to center. 5-3 Rays. Yellowwood bringing the lumber. Brad Miller supplying the lumber and more in the bottom of the 8th.
Watch him get rid of the bat. I think he knew it. I think everybody in the dugout had a thought that it may get out of here. Now off the curveball, straight away center field. Brad Miller just here recently activated, and that's a big one. Big blast.
Well, he came off the disabled list hot from his rehab in the minor leagues. He got into the lineup in a hurry here and picked up some quick hits. Got a double and a single Friday night, the big home run today. And Alex Colomé comes on to work the 9th inning. He's facing the third baseman Lynn. Lynn 2 for 3. Two-way Lynn up here. Here's a strike, now 1-1. Ground ball, that's headed up the middle. Base hit into center, and the Red Sox put the leadoff man on. Our Bonefish Grill catch up the game, and what else could it be but courtesy of Steven Souza Jr.
Boy, going a long way out there in right field into foul territory. Christian Vasquez is the one that is victimized by that. Mountain Smith giving Steven Souza Jr. his due. That was a heck of a play.
The top of the order, Mookie Betts. Takes a strike.
Two-way Lynn.
I'll tell you.
What a pain
yes.
he has been to the Rays.
3 hits in this game. Over to first, he's back in. Now Colomé dealing with the top of the order. Nobody out and a runner at first. Upstairs. 1-1. Kolarek up in the bullpen again. fly ball short left. Dickerson coming in a hurry, and Echeverria is out there. Echeverria makes the catch. Racing out from shortstop. And that's out number 1, and a big one.
You know what? And Echeverria, not only is he a tremendous shortstop, but understanding the defense that the Rays are in. He knows Corey Dickerson is way deep in left field, so he's going to have to help him out and cover some ground. And he goes out a long way to be able to secure that catch for the Rays. Had it the entire way. Good awareness and great range.
I saw a quote the other day from him that said he likes to make all the plays he's supposed to make and plays he's not supposed to make. I'll tell you, he's all over the place, and what a great play that was for the first out. Here's Pedroia. Pitch down and away.
He's the Rays' Kelly Leak. You just turn him loose. Whatever you can get to.
That's right. Go get it. Well, a nice job there to get the first out.
Well, Corey Dickerson continues to play. He's almost backed up right against the warning track out there in left field.
Pedroia takes a strike. 1-1.
I mean, there he is. Almost a fan. And that's why Echeverria, understanding that, knows I can't assume on a shallow fly ball that Corey's going to be able to get to it because of how deep he's playing. And that's why he instinctively took off and covered that much ground.
Foul ball at the feet of Ramos. 1-2. It was Pedroia's second home run of the series, his 4th of the year, coming in the 7th inning. That gave Boston a 3-2 lead. Rays got a run in the 7th to tie it. 2 in the 8th on the Miller home run to take the lead. We're now in the 9th. 1 on, 1 out. 1-2 the count. Too low, covered up by Ramos. LeMay picked up the save yesterday in the 1-0 game, his 24th of the year. Save Thursday's game, a 4-1 victory. Tap to third, down to second, out there, first base, not going to be in time. Rays get the lead man. Lynn forced Longoria to Miller.
Well, that ball was tapped into the ground, and you knew Rays were probably not going to be able to turn it, but at least get that lead man, and able to do that. Brad Miller with that throw, not quite in time, but now the Red Sox down to their final out.
Xander Bogaerts will be the hitter. Pedroia's at first. 2 gone here. Takes off, swing and a miss. Pedroia takes second base uncontested, and a strike to count on Bogaerts. Check in with Rich real quick.
Coming up on the Rays Live postgame show brought to you by WB Mason, we will have all the highlights from this thrilling finale of this 4-game series between the Rays and the Red Sox. We'll hear from Kevin Cash and some of the players inside the clubhouse. It's all coming up hopefully soon on Rays Live, the postgame brought to you by WB Mason.
Well, a strike to count to Bogaerts. Pedroia now at second with 2 outs. And this one is popped up short left. Echeverria waiting. Rays win it. They take 3 out of 4 from the Boston Red Sox. Rays win this one 5-3 on the home run by Brad Miller, coming in the bottom of the 8th inning. Boxberger's going to get the win. Kelly the loss and a save for Colomé, his 25th. All in 3 hours and 7 minutes before 20,812. And the Rays will take a record of 47 and 43 into the All-Star break with them and resume play in Anaheim. For Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats, hope you've enjoyed the telecast. Rays are winners 5-3. Rays Live, the postgame presented by W.B. Mason is next.